Hello and welcome to the Flory Models. Here we are with you on Tuesday, the 22nd of February. Yes, I lost about a month, or it feels like it. But anyway, we are here, back with the vlog show. So, bit of a shortish one today, because to be honest, I've got a hospital thing this afternoon. But anyway, what we're going to be doing is today is pushing on nicely and getting the worst of the actual filler jobs, if you like, and everything else like that with the Hornet. So as you can probably see, you can see the Hornet is somewhat together. So we can probably unclamp this now, because it was clamped last night. Because guess what? It didn't fit. Surprise, surprise. Anyway, I'm hopeful that that is, and it is, that's perfect, that's good. Again, this is the weird thing with this particular kit. Nothing fits, admittedly, and everything's wrong, but it doesn't take that much to put it all right. So that's the part which I don't get. Why did it make it through to being released with such silly little faults? You know, if this kit was released in the 1970s, 80s even, it would be part and parcel of modelling and you'd put up with it and all the rest of it. But, you know, some of the little errors in this one, they are that small that you just think to yourself, like, you know, why? Why is it, why wasn't it picked up? Why wasn't it done and all the rest of it? Anyway, as you can see, tailplanes are on. Now, there's a story to these which involves those, but you're going to have to watch the main video to see about it. But anyway, as you can see, it is on now. We've got the ECS pipes down in there. The cockpit section is all in, completely done. We've got this cover on the back, which gets rid of that horrible pull table, as I called it, on the back of it, of the original, on the Echo version. Generally, the rest of it is all nicely together. We've got a little bit of a gap down in here to take care of. And to be honest, surprise, surprise, the nose doesn't fit. So we are going to have to get in here with quite a bit of filler and go through the motions. So this is what this one's going to be about today. We're going to try and get the nose on, which is full of weight, which has got PVA glue, which has been drying literally overnight, but it's probably going to need a little bit more. So we want to make sure that that's somewhat gone off before we put it on, because otherwise the PVA glue is just going to slide in into the cockpit area. It'd be horrible. So anyway, we can get that one on. So once we get that in, we have got to do some blending work with the nose. It's probably going to involve a bit of sanding. It's going to involve a little bit of filling, so that's fine with that one. We've got a couple of little gaps underneath in here which are going to need to be taken care of. We've got this seam down in here is going to need to be taken care of. The biggest thing though is down on these here, because these are just gnarly and horrible. And yeah, then yeah, to be honest, this one wasn't bad. The other one was just an absolute nightmare. So the black you can see here, this is super glue. So we literally just put in a dollop of super glue and I held it in place. And then, to be honest with you, I was getting me degrees out to try and get the sort of, you know, 20 degrees on the tails and stuff like that, and trying to square it up. And yeah, it's one of those, it's probably not mathematically correct, but it's close enough for a Mark 1 eyeball, and that's what we've gone for, which is pretty much all of this kit right the way through. But as I say, the big really turning point is now, once we get that nose on and we can get the filler right the way over this, the rest of it actually goes together very, very well. Now already I've been playing with various sections on here. And you know, for instance, like the flaps and all the various things on here, they all fit and even hold their own weight, and it does all go together really, really well. So we've had a bit of a play around with it on there. The tail planes, to be honest, they are a absolute nightmare. As you can see, tiny little tabs into, you know, the actual stabs like this. It doesn't work. So I'm not sure about how we're going to try and do a little bit more with this to try and get it into position, because yeah, those are going to get knocked off at the earliest opportunity, and that's going to be an absolute nightmare. Ideally, you'd like a pin going right the way through to sort of spread the load and the weight and all the rest of it, but because obviously it runs through what would be the actual engine nozzles, we can't really do that. It's going to come behind those flame holders in the rear, so we can't actually do that one. But all in all, I have to say, we are there. There's definitely the light is at the end of the tunnel. I think by the end of today, hopefully it'll be covered in filler, and then going forward after we do the PM show tomorrow, we'll be able to go into this one and actually just nail it down and get it sanded and everything else like that. You know, get a coat of primer onto it, see exactly what's going on, do a little bit of re-scribing, re-riveting, and then push on. The rest of it, hopefully, fingers crossed, will be an absolute doddle. It should be quite straightforward. But just to get to this stage, as you know, well, here we are, part 6 on the video build, has been somewhat of an actual nightmare. So that's doing well. The other thing as well is we have The Hurricane. So the Hurricane, again, you're up to around about part 6 on this one. They're about the same. This has been a dream compared to that thing. And again, we're literally going to be putting on all the actual control surfaces onto this one. We've put on, obviously, down in here, none of it's actually glued yet. We've got the rudder down in here. We've got the tail planes. We're going to put on the control surfaces. We've actually got the radiator underneath here, and we've got the cooler. I think that's the oil cooler scoop at the front as well. So that's all looking really, really good. It's come together. So what hopefully we'll be able to do is get this thing all covered over. So we're going to get all the actual parts onto this one, the cowlings and all the rest of it onto here. We can do the actual work on the cockpit. So there's the gun sight area to fit on this one and get that one in. And then we can do all the clear parts, which we've got a mask set for it because we're not a martyr. So we've got a mask set for this particular one, and we can go through this one, and then hopefully we'll be able to get this one over to primer in the next day or two as well. So that will really push on with actually getting the paintwork done. It has gone together, I have to say, for a kit that is, what did we say this was, 15, 17 years old? It's gone together beautifully, no problem at all. And again, it's one of those areas where you could probably go to town with it. You could open up all various panels on it to really show off. A lot of this stuff's going to be hidden in amongst it, but we are going to show off the engine. That's the main point of doing on this particular one. So we can do some more scratch building and bits and pieces along with that one. So again, that's really where we are. We are somewhat getting together with all of these things. We have had, oh, speaking of that one, obviously the decals in the kit are absolutely horrendous. They're very old, they've gone mouldy, so I was talking to Matt about it, and we've gone with some of the Techmod ones. So these are a Polish company, and obviously they do the ones that say, if you want to do the top one with the actual filter on there as well, they do some gorgeous ones, but we'll be doing this one down in here as well, from obviously the famous 309 Squadron. So that's the plan for that one, but it's a big old decals for that one, and that should be really nice as well pushing forward. Matt has sent me down last week, but obviously I'll be doing these this week as a couple of reviews as well. So over the next couple of days, look out for the Armour Hobbies. This is the 72nd scale P51 BC Mustang. Again, I haven't looked in here, I've been really good, but it looks to be an absolutely gem of a kit. So I'm really looking forward to see how that stacks up to their Hurricane, because as you might know, the Hurricane I think is the finest detailed, or certainly surface detail, on a 72nd scale kit I've ever seen. So it'd be really nice to see how this one stacks up to that. And also on the small scheme of things, we were talking about this obviously a lot on the live shows and things. This is the IBGs. This is their series of FW190s. So they've done a few different versions. There's 4 different versions of this one out as well. So obviously I'll be doing the review of this week. So one of the reviews I think I get Thursday, maybe one on Friday for this one. Just depends on how well we get on with these ones today and how well I'll get on at the hospital later. So yes, so that's the plan with that one. We're going to be pushing on with those. We get the reviews back up, and we're trying to really get everything, if you like, back up to speed as to where we were. So I know you've had 2 parts of the Hornet on the belt. You're going to get the next part of the Hurricane. Hopefully that'll be on with you on Friday. Then you'll be back to the Hornet on the Monday, and we can really get going with those. I'll be pushing along. To be honest, I have ordered a new book for the F18 Hornet to get a few more details. The book that I've been using isn't that detailed, so I've got another one which is due to be delivered tomorrow. So as soon as that's here, I will do a mini review on that one as well, because it's the 2nd edition Jake Malenfi's book on the guide to the F18 Super Hornet. But this is the 2nd edition one. I did have the 1st edition one, but I lent it and it hadn't come back. So yeah, so I think I've lost that one now. So anyway, I've gone out, I've got the 2nd edition one. Looking forward to having a look at that, and we can look at some of the details in that book up against the Hornet to make sure we've got everything correct on here. But hopefully, as you say, the light is definitely at the end of the tunnel with those ones. Right, so I'm going to crack on for a couple of hours, see how we get on a little bit later on. And welcome back. So as you can see, Hurricane. We've done all the masking work on that one this morning. We've done that. We've cut the gun barrels back because we've got the aftermarket ones from Master Barrels. Beautiful design, actually. These things are absolutely gorgeous. Always said it, if you want to get one upgrade on Second World War stuff, definitely think about gun barrels, because these are absolute things of beauty. So we've cut the gun barrels back, we've got that sorted, we've finished off the cockpit, we've done the masking for it. We've also got, and I must admit this is one of those ones, and this one's going to prove me correct as well, I'm not a massive fan of the vinyl type masks. They're okay on big areas and things like that, but like on here, they're designed to wrap around the lights and the landing lights, things like that, but already they're peeling off. So I probably will end up using a little bit of normal masking tape and doing it myself for that one. But generally that's all done, so that's ready to go in. And again, now we're probably in a good position to think about actually getting this thing into primer. We know there's a little bit of tidying up still to do on this one or two bits, but what we want to do is get these lights actually installed onto this one, then we can get the clear covers over it, and then we can make sure we've got no gaps and no bits and pieces down in there. So that's been a good couple of hours work down on there. We've also managed to put the cover into one place now, so this is the actual engine cover, which will go in at the top. And that will fit in up there with a little bit of fiddling and a little bit of jigging to go around on there, but that one's in as well, so that's good to go. So actually we're in a really good position now of getting both of these somewhat into primer. This one we've gone around and we've done all the filling work, we've installed the tail hook on this one this morning and everything else, but like I said in the video for this, we're going to wait probably around about 48 hours before we come back and we try and do any tidy up. We've used quite a lot of sprue goo down in these areas, and although it's touch dry, it's certainly not sandable. What happens is that, think of it like PVA glue. It feels like it's dry to touch, but as soon as you try and sand it, it will be soft inside. So that's one of the problems with that one. So I think what we're going to do, give this one a little bit of a break. We can carry on working, as we said before, on the actual Hurricane, get the actual lights fitted down, probably get this thing into primer before the actual Hornet's ready to go into primer, and pushing on with that one. So it's coming together really very nicely. So I'm thinking this time next week we should have them in paint, which will be a nice touch with it. Right, that is about it for me. Don't forget, we've got the PM show with you in the morning as well. So if you've got any questions for the PM show, please post them up before 9 o'clock in the morning, because we tend to record it around about 9 or 10ish on a Wednesday morning. So get those questions in nice and early. Or if not, we'll be back with you on Thursday nights as well. So we've got the live show, and don't forget, we've got a full thing this week. So I'll be back with you for the catch-up show on Friday this week. And then on Saturday, we've actually got a Saturday live. So we'll be coming from you from probably around about 9 or 10 on Saturday morning, right the way through to around about 5 o'clock as well. So we've got a full day there. We've got special prices. Obviously with the PM store, they've got some big discounts, some big stuff coming on with that one as well. I'm going to be carrying on with the CL215 as well for that Hella water bomber in 72nd scale. I know the guys will be building along with us at the weekend as well. So if you are free on Saturday, it's definitely where you want to be. Anyway, that's it from me. Happy modelling. Take care. I'll catch you all tomorrow.